Genetic testing isn't new. In fact, since 1962, virtually all babies born in the United States have been screened for a number of different treatable genetic disorders. Genetic tests can be used to combine risk assessment with proactive intervention, such as changes in your lifestyle or nutrition habits. That's the idea behind the Gensona genetic tests. Think of these tests as one more piece in the puzzle of achieving good health. You know your cholesterol level, for example. You probably know something of your family history, whether grandpa died of a stroke or of cancer, for instance. The Gensona genetic tests give you one more valuable scientific piece of information never available before. Whether you may have the predisposition for certain diseases and conditions later in life. Understanding how Gensona genetic tests work begins with a brief science lesson to give you a better understanding of how your DNA affects your genetic makeup. It starts with the human genome, which is all the DNA you possess. What's DNA? The letters stand for deoxyribonucleic acid, so we'll stick to DNA in our discussion. DNA resides in the core or nucleus of each of the body's trillions of cells, where it holds genetic information. We've all seen the double helix of the DNA molecule, in which two strands of DNA spiral around each other like a big ladder twisted into a coil. DNA is made up of sequences, and specific segments of these sequences are what are referred to as the genetic code, or your genes. The DNA ladder, or double helix, contains a code for the 30,000 genes. Each gene is the code or recipe for a single protein. Everyone has the same genes, and in fact, 99.9% of everyone's DNA is the same. But some genes have very subtle variations or differences in the recipe for making the protein from that specific gene. This change in a single step in the DNA ladder is called a SNP, or single nucleotide polymorphism. The Gensona genetic tests look for certain SNPs and analyze them for specific patterns that have been proven to influence your health.
The Gensona heart health test, for example, indicates if you have an increased risk for heart disease based on specific genetic factors that control inflammation. These factors are different from the standard risk factors for heart disease, such as cholesterol, blood pressure, and smoking.
The Gensona heart health genetic test looks for a particular variation in the IL-1 gene that is associated with excess inflammation. Excess inflammation has been implicated as a significant risk factor for heart disease. Inflammation is your body's first response to injury. For example, when you get a sunburn, your skin becomes inflamed. In addition to classic inflammatory diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation has also been found recently to be one of the causes of several chronic diseases later in life, including cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and Alzheimer's. The Gensona heart health genetic test tells you your genetic pattern in a few genes that play a role in your body's inflammatory response, which is a sign you have a predisposition to heart disease. Similarly, the Gensona General Nutrition Genetic Test identifies differences in how your body metabolizes certain nutrients, including vitamin B and antioxidants. This information is essential to taking a proactive approach to a longer, healthier lifestyle through exercise, diet, and supplementation.
Each of us is on a different health path as we age, and that path is determined by an interaction between our genetics and the lifestyle choices that we make. We can't change our genetics, but you certainly can change the influence that your genes have on your health. Think of your genes as the operating system for your body's computer. It's the software that determines how the computer, your body, functions. Diet, exercise, and other lifestyle decisions such as not smoking interact with the pre-programmed software, the operating system of your genes, to determine how your body functions. The Gensona genetic test is intended for use by healthy people who want to do everything they can to remain so.